That's the one word that a lot of people use in Ireland, even though you speak English.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's an Amadan.
Yeah, you hear Amadan a lot, yeah. Okay? And Marsho means like this, and Marshin means like that. So Mar means like. Marsho, Marshin. Okay? So he says, it's Amadan Misha. So I'm a fool. Agus chacht amach, to come out. Literally what it is, and coming out. Agus chacht amach. Imagine Marsho, a morning like this. Okay? Irish a lot of times will join two sentences together with agus, the word and. But in English, you wouldn't really say and. So in this case, you say to come out. Sometimes it means while in English when you have agus in Irish. Okay? And so, like, you could say nuar to mean while. You could say visheg ihe nuar hanig meishchaf. Visheg ihe, he was eating, nuar hanig meishchaf, when I came in. That's literal. The more Irish way to say it would be visheg ihe agus meig chaf bischach. So visheg ihe, he was eating, and I coming in. Okay? And that would be a more Irish way of saying it. Okay? So use the word agus. Show that two things kind of happen at the same time, or sometimes to connect things like this. Okay, so literally, it's you could actually put a me in there after the agus, so you could say it's Amadan Misha agus meg chaktamach mejin marsho. So I'm a fool, and me coming out on a morning like this. Okay, and if you hear people who speak English and Irish, you'll sometimes hear this in the English too. Okay, so. It's Amadan Misha agus chachtamach imagine marsha. Okay. Last sentence. Be and skol dunta. The school will be closed. Okay, and here what I did, one thing is, we're going to go through, to give you an idea of the range of what you can do with a verb in Irish, is we're going to go through the different forms, the different tenses and modes and moods of a verb called dún, okay? So, in sentence A, we have what's called the imperative, the command form, and this is what you usually find in the dictionary. So, close the door after you. Dún and doras idia. Literally, close the door, like in your afterwards or something like that. Idia means after you, okay? Say I did something in the past. Use the past form, okay? Rún me an doras imaya. So rún me, I closed. Okay? And we've kind of done those two. We've done a little bit with this one, which is the present tense. I close the door after me, meaning it's something I do every time I go out or something, okay? So it's a regular thing I do. Dúnan me an doras imaya. Okay? The future, I will close the door after me. Dúni me an doras imaya. And you don't pronounce the F in there. Dúni me an doras imaya. Okay? So we've done a little bit with that. Okay? The next one's a conditional. We looked at that a little bit a couple weeks ago. And in the conditional one, more so than the other ones, you actually combine into the word who's doing it. So running is I would close. Running and doras imaya. And usually you're going to need more on there, like running and doras imaya. You're going to usually have something like ma if, or da if something, if you would ask something. Okay, so if you ask me to, or if I could, or whatever. So it's a conditional. It's, I would do it if it were possible, whatever. Okay, so running. But the word running by itself means I would close. Okay? Now, another one there doesn't have an F on it. Running and doras imaya means I used to close the door after me. It's what's called the past habitual. It's telling about things that you would regularly do. When I was a child, I would close the door after me, but now I don't care. You know? Vima og, you know, running and doras imaya, and it's just come along. Okay? So, running, I would close. Okay? The F's on there, they're silent, or you have a little bit of an H sound on them. So, running, depending on who you hear. but they're mostly silent. Okay, the last one, and this is one you've seen things. If you see little blessings and curses, they usually start with go. So go nuna tu andoras dias, may you close the door after you. Go nuna tu andoras dia, and that's what's called the subjunctive in Irish. You don't really use it as much in speech, but most blessings, may something, may the road rise to meet you, go nairi and boherlad. Which doesn't mean may the road rise to meet you, it means may your trip succeed. Okay? Yeah. Literally in Irish it's may rise the road with you, so that's where you get may the road rise to meet you. But there's no meeting involved there anyway, so but the expression go nairi lad, something to rise with you means for you to succeed at that thing.
Should the sentence for G then be followed by a threat should you fail to do so?
Yeah.
Is it kind of what it sounds like it's going to?
Right. Yeah, and it's kind of a strange sentence to actually put here. It's more like, go nuna, I don't know, go nuna de hula might be, may your eyes close, that's probably a good curse or something, So.
This is a mother, who's trying to get her little boy, may you close the door someday.
Yeah.
God will strike you down as you step
so,
out.
Right, so anyways, yeah. I think I have a good one with Duna. Okay. Now, the next batch of them all use ta with it, okay? So to say, I am closing the door, tame ig Duna and dorish. Which literally means something like, I am at the closing of the door. So dorish changed to andorish, means of the door. Tame ig Duna and dorish, I'm at the closing of the door. Okay? And that's what's called the verbal noun. It's used for saying that I am doing something. I'm closing or to close. Okay? The next one's what's called the verbal adjective. So you say the door is closed now. Ta andoris dunta anish. Okay? And you can use different forms of ta to say when. So you can say the door was closed in the morning. Vi andoris dunta imagine. The idea being there, I went there in the morning and the door was closed. Okay, the doors dunta, imagine.
Still verbal adjective?
Yeah, so all of the dunta ones are. And you can say the future use be instead of vi, so be and doris dunta and shin. So the door will be closed then. So, if you go there at 10, don't go there at 10 because the door will be closed then. Okay? Now, if you want to say the door would be closed, Vech and Doris Dunta. But for him, Morach Eshen, he broke the door. So, whatever, okay? And if you want to...
Is that still verbal adjective?
That's all, the Dunta is all the verbal adjective.
It's all verbal
And what we're doing is varying different forms of ta with it, okay? Now, if you want to say, may the door be closed firmly, and I could see this on some Egyptian, Well, there's some interaction between the Egyptians and the Irish back there, so I suspect there might be somewhere or other some pyramid that has some Irish inscriptions on it. Yes? Question?
Are you saying verb, adjective, or are you
Verbal.
saying
It's called the verbal adjective.
Verbal meaning oral.
No, verbal meaning from a verb.
Thank you. I'm going, what?
Okay?
Okay, thanks.
So this would be something you might see on an Irish pyramid, I guess. Go rev and doris dunta godengen. May the door be closed firmly. Okay, so go rev. It's just like if you know the expression go rev machagat. Thank you, which really means may you have good. It's actually combining it's the Irish subjunctive with the expression to have something. Okay? Now the last ones we have here are all what's called the free verb. Okay? And the free verb is the one we had, like rogume, I was born, togume, I was raised. And that's used, it's basically the equivalent of passive. It says, a lot of times it says something had happened or something will happen, but it doesn't say who's going to do it. Okay? So, the first one there, N, Dúnmharú and Doris ag cuaig chlog. Which you can say it a couple ways. You can say they closed the door at 5 o'clock, or the door was closed at 5 o'clock. So you know that at 5 o'clock someone closed the door, but you don't know who did it. And there's a couple ways in English to say. You say they closed the door at 5 o'clock, or the door was closed at 5 o'clock. And they both kind of mean the same thing because you don't know who they is. Now, if you're talking about certain people, about, you know, Mary and John closed the door, then you couldn't say Dúnmharú in Irish. You'd have to say Rún siad an doras. They closed the door. Okay? So you think when someone says they closed the door, there's two meanings to it. If you're talking about certain people and I say they closed the door, then you know it's those people who closed it, but you can also say it means the same thing as the door was closed. Someone closed it, right? They closed the door on me, I can't believe this, you know? You don't really know who you're talking about. That would be Dúnmharú, okay? Now, if you want to say that regularly they close the door at 5 o'clock, Dúnmharú an doras ag a cúig a chlog. So Dúnmharú means it's a regular thing. This is still this free verb, so they close it. It is closed.